was born in London. I lived there till I was about 6 years old. And at that point I moved to Chile, where my mother's from. My father's British one. And I lived in Chile up until about 3.5 years ago, which is when I decided to go over to London to do my master's. And this wonderful lady called Sydney Buckland, who's a member of the Lennox-Berkeley Society, hosted me for my first 2 years in London. So she had some friends who were Julian Berkeley, one of Lennox Berkeley's sons, and Tony Scotland, who's involved in the Lennox-Berkeley Society as well. So she invited them over for lunch. She invited me over for lunch as well. I was living right next to her in one of her spare flats. And I played a little something for them. And they were very kind. At the end of that meeting, they had brought a copy of the catechesis for me. So that's how I started playing them. They represent something which was a very special moment for me, coming to London, going to London, starting my master's, very excited with this wonderful opportunity living there. And then most people haven't heard it, so it's kind of cool. I think it's a tricky thing, because for me, coming from Chile, there's this whole notion of, and it's not exclusively Chilean, I don't mean to say, but everyone expects everything to be free. You can find it on PDFs and whatever. Why should you pay for something which should belong to everyone, Everyone should have access, no matter their financial situation. But then living in the UK, really strict on copyright and things like that, and you start realizing, well, actually, all of these scores that we use and all the material and any kind of content, really, it took someone's time and work and effort, and sometimes they do actually live off it. So it's hard. There are things I would just want to share for free, but then where do you put the limit, Well, I think there's also kind of an ethical question here. If in a community or an industry, there are people willing to provide a service for free, in a way it does affect the people who do charge for it, in a way. So if a colleague offers to do a big concert for free, then how are those organizers going to take my proposal, charging 200 euros, 300 euros, or whatever it is, seriously? It's like we can just get it for free. And the same way, maybe the fact that scores are available for free might actually hinder the fact that, there are people trying to sell them and make a living off of it. I think trying to reproduce anything will be a massive failure. But there are kind of basic structures of a career, I want to be able to live off performing and maybe a bit of teaching as well. But that's kind of the essence. And it sounds really maybe dull or really basic, I want money from what I do, but that's kind of the basics. So you say, okay, that means I want to get concerts where I get paid. How do I get concerts that I get paid for? I need to have maybe some kind of a reputation or something to tell people, or concert organizer, you can trust me, I will deliver, the concert. So that's when all these uncomfortable things of self-promotion, talking about yourself, writing about yourself, come in, and they're really useful. So what do I have to offer? And then things like playing something special to you, like the Berkeley or whatever, or your own arrangements, are really useful. So yeah, I am thinking of kind of trying to find pieces to arrange, or trying to find repertoire which isn't overplayed, and see how that can fit into all of this. And at the same time, sometimes it is really healthy to just look for pieces that you know people will really enjoy as well. Like I used to be really close-minded about that. Like, wow, if it's just to please people, like that's no good, you know. But we are entertainers as well as artists, you know. So people giving you a whole hour of their day, which they could be doing something else, if they probably took, I don't know, half an hour or an hour to get there. So you can't reward them by stressing them, you know. You need to give them something they will enjoy. If it's an overlap between what you enjoy and they enjoy, then that's fantastic. That's like the best situation ever.